as always, Ted, kick us off. Who do you have as your winner of the week?
Jimmie Austin Golf Course in Norman, Oklahoma, which is the university course for the OU golf team. They had a big announcement, big press conference this week. The Korn Ferry Tour is coming to Norman, Oklahoma next June. It's going to be awesome. This is a really cool tour. A bunch of superstars come from the Korn Ferry Tour. I believe OU currently has 8 guys that are on the Korn Ferry Tour. It's going to be awesome. Compliance Solutions is the main sponsor. Mark Lambert is the owner there. They do a lot of good work here in Oklahoma, but I think this is going to be so awesome. It's huge for the golf course. It's huge for the community. Bringing events like this to Oklahoma is huge. Obviously the big majors are a lot of fun. The Southern Hills deal was a spectacular showcase for the state of Oklahoma. You also got to layer it down a little bit. This tour is great to serve some of these guys whenever they're in this stage of their career. Put together a really fun tour for them, a fun tour for the local community. I think it's awesome. I also think it's a home run for Ryan Hibble in the golf program to be able to showcase your home course like that. Where a bunch of the pros from across the country come in, play on your track. You're able to host some of your former players there as they're playing. I think it's awesome.
Yeah, and for those of you that may not know what the Korn Ferry Tour is, it's the step right below the PGA Tour, right? It is, and what is it? The top 25 at the end of the Korn Ferry year get their tour cards.
Yep. What's his name? Is it Schefter? Why am I drawing a blank? He won
Scotty Scheffler.
Yeah, he's had a killer year, and I think he won it last year or the year before the Korn Ferry Tour.
And if I read it correctly, I believe this isn't just like a 1-year thing. It's a contract through 2027.
I believe it's a 5-year contract. Not exactly sure on that, but they want to make this an annual event. They want this to become permanent.
And that it'll be good for the Norman economy, but also, and you just mentioned Scheffler, right? It's an opportunity to go out there and watch some of these guys that are going to be stars eventually play. And you really never know who it's going to be. Now you got an idea, right, of the guys that are playing really well on the Korn Ferry, but it is one of those things where it could be your chance to see someone that ends up being like a top 10 player in the world before they become that person. It's kind of cool to have that memory if that ends up, being how it works out.
And they've put a lot of money into that course, and a lot of people haven't played it in a long time. If you haven't played Jimmie Austin in the last, 5-8 years, it is totally different. They totally revamped the course. It is immaculate, and the layout sets up perfectly for an event like this. It's going to be awesome. I can't wait for it. I think it's really, really cool.
My hope, and this is just me being selfish, my hope that this is the gateway to an annual PGA Tour event in the Norman or Oklahoma City area. That's my hope.
Well, if the community comes out, if the sponsorships sell, if it's an event that is prioritized locally, then that could happen. It really could. I think some of the bigger cities that host them, sometimes it can maybe get lost in the shuffle of some different things that are going on. I think if the Oklahoma City area shows that we can really embrace something like this and turn it into a featured event on everyone's calendar in the community, then you could definitely grow it into something bigger.
I'm with you. I think the weekend before football season starts make a lot of sense.
That would be crazy. That would be awesome.
That would be awesome, right?
Yep.
All right. Who do you have as your, we already know. Tell us, how mad are you about the OU tailgating thing?
The loser of the week, in my opinion, is the University of Oklahoma's tailgating map. Right? Here's the thing, man. Not just in Oklahoma, across the country, every university, we're fighting a battle to keep fans in the stands. And it's a losing battle at most places. It wasn't very long ago where you couldn't sit on your couch in front of a 80-inch big screen TV that are really cheap these days in 4K high def and watch any game in the country. Anyone. Is Northwestern your team? You can sit at home and watch it in HD. Oregon State, all corners of the United States. You can watch every single game in high def in front of your TV with cheap beverages, cheap food, easy access to restrooms. It's the easiest thing in the world. We're fighting that battle. And instead of trying to make everything easier, we make it harder, more cumbersome, less inviting, right? Instead of making everything easier, it's harder. Instead of making everything cheaper and more welcoming, it's more expensive. That's not how this should go. This is the easiest way to pour people into the university on Saturday's game day and have them there to enjoy a big-time football game. It makes it harder on the people that are around the university supporting Campus Corner. I mean, you got to understand, Campus Corner is, you have a couple of pockets a year where that place does well. It's football season, fall semester, and it's spring semester. You have big stretches during the holidays when no one's in town. You have big stretches during the summer when no one's in town. It's hard for them to make money. And it's already become more difficult with all of the 11 a.m. kicks that we've had. And then you put on top of it more difficult to tailgate. And I know you're saying, well, people that are tailgating aren't at Campus Corner. That's not true. I mean, it's an intermix between everywhere. A lot of people tailgate hop. They go to different places. They go see friends that have a tailgate set up at this place, and then maybe they'll stop at Campus Corner to meet some other friends at a restaurant or a bar for some food before the game or after the game. The whole thing needs to be welcoming, not harder. You do not want people sitting in front of their television at home watching the games. And I know ratings is a thing and you want your games to be highly rated, but you want people on your campus. That goes into your pocket directly. And it's not just about, the money aspect of it. We want this to be, we've heard Coach Venables say it, we want this to be the best atmosphere in college football. Not the best atmosphere in Oklahoma, not the best atmosphere in the Big 12, the best football atmosphere in the world is what you want this. And you don't do that by restricting access to people. You do it by getting more people on campus. This has been a frustrating point for a long time. There's slowly been chipping away at stuff, chipping away. And, oh, sure, you can have a spot right up front, a tailgating spot for $750, and you get a tent and you can set up shop there. You don't want to limit this. $750 to set up a tailgate is non-negotiable for a huge chunk of your fan base. They flat out can't do it. They may have a hard enough time as it is affording tickets and parking and some refreshments during the game to go with a family of 5. You want it easier. It all needs to be easier. This doesn't seem like a difficult point. The money they make from these private, whatever they are tailgating, is nothing. It's nothing in the overall picture. It's nothing. It's what? How many? You get 5, 6 home games a year and you're going to nickel and dime your fans over tailgating spots, I think it's a bad move. And I think a lot of things that OU does typically really good vision, really good thought into what they're doing and how they're going about it. I do not agree with this one.
I don't know if anything else needs to be said other than they should change it.
Yeah.
It does not send the message, like the atmosphere, creating the atmosphere on campus and inside the stadium should be the top goal.
Yep.
Because if you create a wild atmosphere, players are going to want to play there. It's going to be hard for opponents to play there. You're going to win more games. It all works together in my mind. Privatizing these tailgate spots, and I know that it sounds a certain way coming from me, saying it, but just giving the rich people the option of doing these things, like, that's not going to create the atmosphere that Brent Venables wants.
You don't want to alienate fans.
We need this fan base. There's so much momentum right now, and I feel like this is one thing where you're like, don't do that. We want this fan base to feel all in and like everyone's contributing and like it's a family and all this. And I feel like I don't know if this is in direct opposition of that, but it certainly doesn't feel like the feeling we're going for, man.
No. Nope. I would go the complete opposite direction. Where do you want to set up? We'll help you. We have a staff of people that are here to help you set up. They'll help you carry your ice chest. They'll help you set your tent up. They'll help you clean up. Like, that's what you need. Go the other direction. Go the direction to where everyone says, oh my God, the greatest thing that we have going in this state is tailgating at OU football games. It's the best thing there is. They help you find a spot. There's great spots all over campus. They help you clean up. That's the direction you should be going, not limiting access.
Yep. A lot of people are unhappy with it, so we'll see if it gets addressed. But I don't know. Beautifully said, sir. Way to go. Very proud of you. All right, let's get to my winner and loser. But first,
First Fidelity Bank is a full-service financial institution based in Oklahoma with tailored solutions for all your personal and business needs. Checking accounts, saving accounts, home loans, and much more. They do it all, whether it's online banking from your computer or mobile banking from your phone. Everything is stress-free with FFB. Making mobile deposits, paying bills online, and moving money to different accounts could not be easier. First Fidelity Bank provides free ATMs worldwide, making banking convenient wherever you are. They also give back to the community. FFB donates a total of more than $500,000 to local charities and educational foundations. Make your life easier and go bank with First Fidelity Bank. Visit ffb.com for more information.
And if you're a whiskey or bourbon drinker, stop what you're doing, head to your favorite liquor store and buy some Balcones products. You got to grab some of Balcones Lineage Single Malt Whiskey. It was voted one of the top 20 whiskeys in the world by Whiskey Advocate, and you'll be shocked by how affordable it is. Also, you got to snag some of Balcones Baby Blue Corn Whiskey.
It's made from blue corn. That's the fancy corn.
And that is why it has won more than 25 awards. Last but certainly not least, you got to buy some of Balcones Pot Still Bourbon. Its big flavors make it the perfect bourbon to drink year-round. Remember, in 2012, Balcones Single Malt won the Best in Glass competition, beating brands like Johnny Walker and Macallan. This stuff is the real deal, people. If you love great whiskey and bourbon at a great price, then Balcones products are the only way to go. The whiskey may be made in Texas, but yes, the owners are from Oklahoma. To find a liquor store that has it, visit balconesdistilling.com. All right, for my winner of the week, thought about going with Zach Wilson, right? Just had to get the meniscus trimmed. Seems like everything's all good. Now, not ideal, but all things considered with how bad it could be. And I'm sure the Jets will be smart when it comes to bringing him back slowly, but good news for the Jets and Zach Wilson, Ted.
This is good news. This is what we want in the NFL. We want the best players on the field. In any sport at any level, we want the best players on the field.
Absolutely. Also thought about going with Nebraska wide receiver Decoldest Crawford. Please tell me you saw his ad.
Excellent. Excellent. This is what NIL is supposed to be. This is how it's supposed to unfold.
Yeah, if you have not seen his commercial for SOS Heating and Cooling there in Nebraska, check it out. It's got 6 million views last time I checked on Twitter. Unfortunately, sounds like Decoldest may be out for the year with a knee injury, which is a bummer, but still, hey, making that NIL money, good for him.
Well, hey, yeah, that's the nice benefit of it. Yeah, that is frustrating, and you got to wonder for Nebraska where they're going to get their playmaking ability.
Yeah, but my winner of the week, think what you want about the man, but LeBron James agrees to a 2-year, $97.1 million max extension with the Lakers. The deal can be worth as much as $111 million, depending on how the salary cap rises in the NBA. There's a player option there in 2024, 2025. The deal makes him the highest earning player in the history of the NBA with this deal. He surpasses Kevin Durant. He is now in his career just on the court, $532 million in guaranteed contract earnings. Unreal.
That is
that's a lot of money, man. And that doesn't even account the Nike deal, all the other investments. He's got the production company, all that stuff he's got going off the court, like just 532 mil straight up from basketball contracts. Godly.
When I saw that number, I thought he was going to play on the Live Golf Tour or something. I that's where all those numbers have been coming from lately. But hey, incredible. You got to really wonder how effective LeBron's going to be moving forward. The last couple of years, he's usually just been able to flip the switch whenever he needs to, regardless of what is around him, and maybe not win a championship, but at least be super, super competitive. We'll see. Big chunk of money. But hey, he like you said, like him or hate him, he's still, if not the biggest, one of the biggest stars in the NBA. He puts butts in seats.
Yeah, and maybe the most important part is he will now be making more money than Russell Westbrook, which is important. All right, for my loser of the week, speaking of live golf, thought about going with Patrick Reed. Did you see this?
Yeah.
Patrick Reed filed a defamation lawsuit against Brandel Chambly and Golf Channel, where he claims Chambly, Golf Channel, the PGA Tour, and Jay Monahan all conspired against him for the last 9 years to disparage his good name. Ted, it has a lot to do with him calling him a cheater all the time, which he's a cheater. So I don't know what the big deal is, but he is seeking $750 million in the lawsuit.
Do you think part of his contract with Live Golf was, you guys have to fund my lawsuit against the PGA, my lawyer's fees, all of that? You guys have to pick up the tab for that.
I don't think so, because they probably, did you see that Tiger Woods, it was Tiger Wood 'S in the lawsuit? It wasn't Woods. It was like Tiger Woods' last name was like his name was Tiger Wood.
Huh.
I would assume a really big time lawyer would not make the mistake that a big time lawyer would know the best golfer ever's name. Just an assumption. Now it could just be autocorrect, but
that's interesting. Maybe you blame it on the secretary, I guess. I don't know. That's funny though.
Yeah, it is pretty funny. But and this is not funny, man. But my loser of the week, Aqib Talib. I mean, this story, it's tragic, clearly, right? Youth football coach Mike Hickman shot and killed at a Pee Wee game in Texas, a game 9 and under, Pee Wee football game. And Aqib Talib's brother, Aqib Talib, was the one who shot and killed him, and it has since turned himself in. But according to TMZ, multiple eyewitnesses claim Aqib Talib was the one that lost it on the refs, for a late hit call, just wouldn't stop getting after the refs. The game got called because of it. Brawl broke out afterwards. A lot of people saying Aqib Talib was the one who threw the first punch, started the whole thing. Aqib's lawyer has come out and said the reports are inaccurate. Of course he has, but man, I mean, not a good situation at all for a guy that had a hell of a career, but also a guy that is kind of a rising star in the analyst space, right? He's supposed to be part of Amazon's Thursday Night Football coverage this season. Called games for Fox last year. People enjoyed him a lot. Just yikes, man.
It's terrible. And I don't know how it gets to this point. Which, by the way, it wasn't even a game. It was a scrimmage. It was a scrimmage. At least that's what I read. Maybe
no,
that's
you're
wrong,
right.
but,
I think that's right.
But think about that. This is a scrimmage. Whether or not your kid wins a scrimmage, they're not going to get a scholarship for it. They're 9 years old. I don't understand how we get this mix up about, oh, the refs are cheating the kids. They're not cheating the kids. Number one, they're out there making pennies on the dollar so you can have these events and put this thing on.
And the Talibs were the one that organized it and hired the refs, from what I read.
The refs. That's right. Yeah. What's the big deal? Who cares? That's part of sports. Part of sports is taking a situation that was maybe out of your control, that went against you, learning how to deal with it mentally, putting it behind you, and going and making the plays required to win the football game. That's part of being an athlete. And the kids don't care. They don't care. They may act like they care because you are freaking out and losing your mind over a scrimmage. It's just not worth it. It's crazy, man. And I don't know how you can go from like to flip out on the referees is one thing, but to go into a fight is a completely different. And then to shoot a guy, what the hell kind of a person can make that leap in a little league scrimmage? It's crazy.
Yeah.
I don't even.
Yeah, and I guess from what I read, Aqib Talib kind of took his brother and removed him. Didn't wait for the authorities. I don't know, man. I don't know if anything comes of this for Aqib Talib, but just a tragic situation. And clearly, thoughts and prayers go out to Mike Hickman, his family, and his loved ones. This should never happen. It's not that serious, man. It's youth sports. It should never happen. If you're one of those people out there yelling at kids and getting kicked out of youth sporting events, be less of an asshole.
Yep.
It ain't that serious, man. So, I mean, the fact that a guy lost his life in this situation is just
in front of his kid. Think about that. In front of his kid. In front of his 9-year-old kid.
Yeah, and I guess the altercation portion of it started because he just went to go get his son's football that had been kind of kicked on to the other side of the field.
Yeah. I don't know about what started it. And I don't know who the guilty parties are here. They know who they are. Like, they know who were, if you were a part of the thing escalating or a part of it de-escalating. I don't know that, but it can't get to this, man. It's horrible for those kids, not just the kid to witness it, his dad, but all of them there, all of those kids. Can you imagine the impression that has on 8, 9-year-old kids to witness that? Your coach, your friend's dad, your opponent's dad. Like, it's disgusting.
Yeah.
Lock them all. Whoever was involved, lock them up, throw away the key. I'm for whatever you can dish out.
Yeah. Just should never happen. That's typically not the tone we're going for, but I thought it was important to talk about.